Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into another shocking and eye-opening development from the ongoing Russian-Ukraine war. A powerful Ukrainian drone strike has targeted the Rostov Rail Command, a massive installation reportedly valued at around $1.1 billion. This facility was not just an ordinary rail station, it was a central hub for logistics, command operations, and supply lines that kept Russia's military machine moving. In this review we will explore the event in detail and examine it as if we were reviewing a complex machine, breaking it down into aspects like exterior, interior, performance, safety features, unique selling points, price, and finally drawing a conclusion about what this strike means in the wider war. From the outside, the Rostov Rail Command has always been portrayed as an intimidating structure, built with a blend of utility and imposing design. Its exterior represented Russia's long-standing attempt to demonstrate strength in its military infrastructure. The facility stretched across vast land, with fortified walls, rail yards stretching into the horizon, and armored protection against conventional threats. For decades, it stood as a symbol of centralized control and an essential node in the railway web feeding troops and supplies into the battlefields. The drone strike against this exterior revealed both its strengths and vulnerabilities. Despite heavy reinforcement, the modern drone technology was able to pierce through, suggesting that the appearance of strength is no longer enough in modern warfare. The images that followed showed flames, smoke, and twisted steel, an exterior once proud now reduced to wreckage, sending a clear message to the world about the fragility of even the most secure-looking infrastructure. Stepping briefly into the interior, what made this facility so important was not luxury or beauty but command efficiency. Inside, the Rostov Rail Command housed control rooms packed with computers, tracking systems, and operators managing the endless movement of trains, cargo, and troop transports. It was less about aesthetics and more about utility, an interior defined by wires, blinking screens, and personnel constantly in communication with the front lines. Reports suggest that once the drones hit their marks, much of this equipment was destroyed or rendered inoperable. Short yet vital, the interior story is one of silence where once there was constant activity. Empty chairs, shattered screens, and interrupted communication networks symbolize how the interior collapse is as important as the exterior damage when evaluating the impact of this strike. Performance is perhaps the most important category when analyzing a facility like this. The Rostov Rail Command was built to perform under pressure, ensuring supplies reached soldiers quickly and efficiently across hundreds of miles. Its performance had been tested throughout the conflict, especially as Ukraine targeted supply lines in recent months. Before the strike, the system operated like a well-oiled machine, with trains moving artillery, fuel, and reinforcements with minimal delay. However, the drone strike revealed cracks in that performance. Once the central hub is disabled, the entire network struggles, delays build up, and troops on the front lines feel the pressure of shortages. Performance, once the selling point of Rostov Rail Command, has now been cut down, proving how vulnerable centralized systems are in the age of drones. The performance now is defined not by efficiency but by failure, disruption, and a massive blow to Russia's military logistics. When considering safety features, one must ask what defenses the Rostov Rail Command had against such attacks. Officially, Russia had invested heavily in anti-aircraft systems, electronic jamming devices, and security patrols. On paper, the safety features should have made it nearly impossible for drones to reach the core of the facility. But theory and reality often differ. The Ukrainian drones managed to bypass or overwhelm these systems, showing that the safety features were either outdated, mismanaged, or simply inadequate against new drone technology. The destruction also highlights another safety flaw: reliance on physical structures rather than mobile, decentralized command. Once the safety net was pierced, the facility could not protect its staff, equipment, or role in the war. This raises serious questions for Russia about how to protect its critical infrastructure in the future, as safety features that look strong in design might prove useless in practice when tested by motivated and technologically advanced opponents. The unique selling points of the Rostov Rail Command are what made it so valuable and therefore such a tempting target. Its first unique point was scale. Few facilities could handle such massive volumes of military traffic. The second was location. Rostov sits close to the Ukrainian border, making it an ideal hub for fast deployment of troops and supplies. The third was integration. It was not just a rail station but a command center linking digital and physical operations, coordinating with satellites, signals, and ground forces. These unique points are what made it a billion-dollar asset. Yet they also turned into weaknesses once Ukraine identified them. Its scale made it difficult to hide, its location put it within range of drones, and its integration meant that once damaged, multiple systems failed at once. What had been unique selling points for Russia became unique vulnerabilities in the face of evolving warfare tactics. Talking about price, the $1.1 billion figure is more than just a number. It represents years of investment, taxpayer money, military planning, and engineering work. The cost was justified by Russia as essential to maintaining superiority in logistics and supply. But with a single strike, Ukraine managed to slash that investment to rubble. The monetary loss is immense, but the symbolic price is even higher. It tells both Russia and the world that expensive infrastructure is not immune to cost-effective modern weapons like drones. In fact, the cost comparison is almost shocking. Relatively cheap drones took down a billion-dollar facility, proving the economic imbalance in this conflict. For every million Russia spends on defense, Ukraine spends a fraction but achieves devastating results. The price of this loss cannot just be measured in money, it must also be calculated in morale, military capability, and global perception. In conclusion, the strike on the Rostov Rail Command is a turning point in how we view modern warfare and the future of military infrastructure. The exterior once displayed invincibility but has been reduced to a symbol of weakness. The interior, once alive with communication and command, now lies in silence. Performance, once seamless, is now broken and struggling. Safety features proved inadequate in real battle conditions. Unique selling points became liabilities. The price tag of $1.1 billion now looks more like a monument to miscalculation than to strength. For Ukraine, this strike represents innovation, resilience, and the ability to punch above its weight with technology. For Russia, it is a harsh reminder that old models of warfare cannot guarantee safety in a new era defined by drones, speed, and precision strikes. The wider implication is that the balance of power in conflicts may increasingly favor those who innovate rather than those who spend the most. What happened at Rostov Rail Command is more than a single strike, it is a case study in how military strategies must evolve or risk collapse. It is also a warning to nations worldwide that centralized, expensive facilities are no longer untouchable. The war continues, but the lesson from this moment is clear: adaptation is survival, and failure to adapt can turn billion-dollar assets into smoldering ruins overnight.